this intro. What the fuck?
And editing. There's no editing, and this is live, so you know. I'm doing everything.
Do the same intro every time.
And we did the intro. I just misclicked.
The Caribbean.
Calm down. You know.
Oh yeah, use auto hotkeys, bro. What are you doing?
No.
Fucking optimize your shit efficiency. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be a short one this time, and well, I mean, I say it's gonna be short, but who knows how long it will take.
I imagine it'll be quite short. You know, I only have.
Yeah. You have a tingling sensation.
I have a tingling sensation in the back of my groin. You know, I need to go jack off after this.
You want some help?
What? Ah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I want some help considering that. I mean, after this, the first thing we're gonna talk about, you definitely want some help. What makes someone a furry? Yeah. Does anyone have any experience? I mean, you're kind of a furry, Frosty.
Excuse me, how am I kind of a furry?
You know, you have.
Oh shit! I opened Windows Store. Give me a second.
You opened Windows Store.
I opened Windows Store. Yeah, I misclicked.
You see, you also misclicked.
Yeah, not on the podcast though. I'm just fucking browsing the internet because of course I am. Okay. What's this about me being a furry? I'm not a furry. I'm not a degen. I swear to God.
I'd say you're about 5 to 10% furry. Yeah.
I feel like you're inviting me to read wet ferals, and I'm going to do it because I enjoy reading from them.
Maybe.
That could be a topic.
Is it furry-like?
So I think if you've ever written anything like this, then you're probably a furry. Blush. Weird face. I haven't made any soaks today. I peed in the shower. Shyly crawls over, friend, and makes a trickle over his hind leg. Okay, and other weird, disgusting, wet feral things.
I mean, fair point. If someone types...
No, I think it's just that if you're attracted to sort of anthro characters, right? Or if you have like a persona and stuff. I think defining what is a furry and sort of whether or not having animal ears makes you a furry is sort of a silly exercise, right? Because everyone draws the line sort of right before, right, where they're at. You know, so I'm okay with animal ears, I'm okay with having a tail, but I don't think I'm a furry, so I'm drawing the line above that, right? But I could also say that, you know, some people might think that if you have animal ears at all, right, zero tolerance policy, then you're a furry. In which case I'll be furry. I think that's an unhelpful exercise. I think what is more interesting is to discuss whether or not you're a degenerate. Right.
Oh.
How far into the furdom you have to get to become someone that's not necessarily despised, but someone that's certainly looked upon in society with a little bit of shame. And this is not limited to furries, right? This is any fetish, including weebs. Certainly. For context, let me shit on weebs first, right? I think if you practice the way of the sword, and if you have a... What's the funny hat?
Funny hat? Harry Potter?
Top hat?
No, the
fedora,
hat, you know? Yeah, if you practice the way of the sword, own fake katanas, have a fedora, have a sleep, have a sort of elementary understanding of Japanese, and sort of, you know, you insert Japanese randomly into your speech, even though you're not speaking to anyone that's Japanese and or speaks Japanese, and you're speaking primarily in another language like English, then I think you're sort of a degenerate weeb. But I'm also drawing the line right before right underneath where I am, right? So, like, for context, I did kendo, right? I don't have a katana, but I did kendo, right? I don't have a fedora because I don't wear hats, and I don't insert Japanese in my speech because I think it's cringe. But I am, once again, I'm just drawing the line right before I am. So, in terms of me, I think, you know, for furries, I think, if you know what crinkling is, and if you practice crinkling, then I think you're a DJ. And if you don't know what that is, please don't Google it.
I am
that's
very
it.
curious right now, but I'll do it later.
Okay, I'll describe it.
I
I'll
don't-
describe
I
it.
don't even
care.
know what it is,
We'll
dude.
get cancelled. I don't care.
What the fuck?
Okay, so crinkling is the practice of walking around in diapers that are full.
Hmm.
What are they full of?
Oh,
Full
Feces.
of what?
Human fecal matter. Shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
And
saw
it makes
this
it
before.
allegedly. It makes a crinkling stuff noise. Yeah.
I saw this before and I was like, not for me.
I am okay. So I will confess, I am unsure that crinkling is necessarily a furry
Oh,
habit.
hell no.
It could be a general fetish that these furries happen to have. But I did find out sort of in the Internet Historian Rainfirst video, Rainfirst, as the majority of the internet did. I am sure. So yeah. So I think as long as you don't do that, it's fine. I think yiffing is a little weird, but I don't think it's too degen. And certainly, you know, thinking about the incredibly sweaty bodies underneath those fursuits is a little bit repugnant for me, but I'm also not a furry, so I feel like that's... I shouldn't judge them for that, right? As long as you don't walk around with a little pack of your own shit, I think you're fine.
What about you, Snow? What do you think? For when does someone become a furry?
When they were conceived, obviously. You were born a furry.
Whenever I talk about this, I can't even give like straight answer just because I talk to like a lot of furry friends.
Yeah.
They even
What
say
he's saying is
like
he doesn't
something
want to upset
around
his furry
like
friends by calling them
you-
degens. Anyway.
for example, they even call us furries as well, just because of like having this cat ear or tail or whatever. And that's basically it. And I was like, well, you're not wrong, but at the same time, furry is like at the bottom of the barrel, you know what I mean? And then just cattle is like different, but furry is like
This man's trying to be nice. and
definition
call the
is
entire
furry is like
community the bottom of the barrel.
yeah.
He's trying.
No,
This is
say
you being
that.
nice. I don't want you being angry.
He's
But it
trying
is true.
real
But
hard
it is
to not
true,
say
yes.
furries are shit.
He's trying real hard to talk around the topic, but his opinion is clear as day. That's all I'm saying. Look, if you want to shit on the furry community, you are more than welcome to, right? They're the one part of the community is a butt of a joke for me, so...
God damn it. It lasts long. It doesn't last long. I gotta be nice. But yeah, what makes someone a furry for me personally is when they own a fursuit and wanting to like it's less
Not very inclusive of you.
unlike
No.
there's two part of furries. Another one is like more to bestiality, and the other one is like, you know, just what be
Oh,
this kind of
so,
furry
okay.
that not fully animal, but it's just
I know you're lagging.
What
I
do you
need to
mean?
defend furries for a second here, right? Okay. Bestiality, right? Zoophilia and furry and being a furry are two different things, right? If you draw a Venn diagram, right, there is
Okay.
some overlap, but the majority of furries do not want to actually fuck real animals. I promise you that. In the same sense that the majority of weebs do not want to fuck
I know.
real children and or do not want to fuck pieces
I
of
know,
paper.
but
Okay.
yeah, that there is still. I know I met some people who really love like bestiality as well. So that's why I put like two parts of it, and I put like majority furry is on the left side, which is not bestiality, and it's like you like
I think
to
that's
the
an
anime
interesting
girls
point.
and you
I
don't
do
wanna fuck
agree
them.
that I believe the majority of furries being a very sex positive and sort of LGBTQIA plus community would be on the left. I agree with you, but let's not get political. Okay.
okay. Well,
He's
yeah,
no idea what I'm saying. I'm 100% sure he's no
my
idea what
brain
I'm saying.
just-
Goddamn.
no.
Hmm.
But,
So-
yeah. Jesus. Okay, my brain just stopped.
So basically,
It
from
never
what I heard,
started. It was never a thing.
someone
vacuous and
basically
empty. Sorry.
at least wearing a fursuit, and that's a furry. Anything below that, they're not a furry.
No, not really. It's like causing a cat girl, and I don't think it's a furry. But if it's like a humanoid and then every part of your body is like fur, then yes.
Okay.
As per usual, you joined
If that makes
right
sense.
beneath what you're comfortable with, you disgusting furry cat girl.
I
I mean, it's true, isn't it? Right? The reason why you made, cat girls are alright, because you're a fucking cat girl.
It's true.
here's I'd like to define someone being a furry, but before that, who is a gamer? When can someone be a gamer? I think that can help.
Anyone who
answer
plays
the
games.
Who's a gamer?
question. Okay.
No, it's honestly anyone who plays games. I think, okay, this argument is very similar to what is art, right? And trying to define what art is. That's not a very
Mhm.
functional argument, and it doesn't really help, right? Because everything's art, anything can be art, and like anyone who plays a game is a gamer. But you can, on the other hand, make a sort of value judgment, right? Whether or not you personally believe that it's a piece of art is a good art or bad art, right?
Yeah.
And obviously that's down to the eye of the beholder, but for my personal opinion, right? Good gamers are those who
Yeah.
don't touch mobile games, and bad gamers are those who touch mobile games. Okay, that's it.
But I mean, that's why. I mean, my point leading is like some people who just play a game, like play Tetris when somebody tells them to play Tetris. I guess my question is, who's
This counts.
a gamer in a
not
cultural sense? A gamer.
Right. Who's like a gaming enthusiast, right? I think sort of reframing
Yeah.
this question from who is a gamer to who is culturally a gamer, who's like a gaming enthusiast, who's into the gaming
Yeah.
sphere and like cares about games is a
And-
different thing.
And from it, there's like a casual gamer, a non-gamer, or like a parent gamer that I don't know plays Tetris every once in a while, and a casual gamer
I
that
don't
plays
really like the idea.
FIFA every week.
It makes sense, and I agree with like casual gaming. But I don't really like the sort of hardcore gaming. I think that's not really useful. I think what we should be classifying them is you have casual gamers, and you have your core gamers, and then you have your competitive gamers. That's smaller circle, right? Because your competitive gamers are people that are really into League, really into like Apex, etc., etc.,
Yeah,
etc.,
it
and play all of that,
branches
and they're
to
good.
different kind of like genre. Yeah.
Of course, like StarCraft 2, like etc., etc. Command and Conquer. And then you have your core gamers, which are people that we would associate as like what sort of people in the gaming sphere, people who like have consoles, people who play like AAA releases and or indie games, right? And then you have your casual gamers, who are people like they have a phone, they maybe like get scammed out of their money by playing Diablo Immortal, that sort of people.
Yeah.
For context, let me re-establish this. I don't respect mobile gamers. Fuck off. Okay.
And and that's the reason why I brought this up in terms of the gaming sense. So like from it, I'd like to apply
I don't respect
the
them.
furry sense. So maybe there's like a casual or like a soft furry, then your core furry, and then your
There
extreme
100%
furry.
is. There 100% is.
Yeah.
So
that's
if you want to classify those into bounds, I would say I would use I believe extreme is a little bit niche. So I want to say you have your yiffers, right? People who fuck in fursuits, and they used to be called yiff suits. I believe they're called something different now. I do not know. And then you have your fursuiters, people who own fursuits and have invested at least $3,000 on a fursuit. Well, I believe it's $2,000 to $3,000 for a fursuit, which is insane. But yeah, okay. And then you have your sort of normal, not normal furries, but you have your sort of non-fursuiters, your furries without fursuits, and then you have your sort of, cat girls with like anime girls with cat bits and like animal bits, and then that's how I see the whole spectrum. And then you have like a weird disgusting corner where they where some of the community happens to sort of cross-sect with the community that also enjoys actually fucking animals, because we shouldn't fuck animals. The animals cannot consent. Anyway,
and with that
because
said,
animals are
that's
dumb as
why,
fuck, right?
That's why I mentioned like you'd be just throwing a sentence out there. You would be like a 10% furry, same with me and same with Snow, because of like the cat ears or the tails.
We're like a tertiary. Well, we're like a tertiary source, right? We're like a tertiary furry.
Yeah, we're casual furries.
If like a primary, if a primary source furry,
Casual
fursuiter,
furry.
right?
Yeah.
Right, like primary source furry is a fursuiter, right, and then the secondary source furry is a like non-fursuiter. They don't have fursuit, but they identify as furries, and we are
Yeah.
a tertiary source.
Yeah.
I don't know how the yiffers.
To be honest,
But
I kind of hate when. I don't know why you call it casual furry, just because of like having only cat ear. I hate the term on me
the
that
issue
I'm
is,
a furry. You know what I mean?
clearly, your opinion on furry. It's really you dislike furries, and then you have internalized. It's not racism, but you dislike the idea of sort of furdom, right? Which is why you have an issue with being associated with being furry.
I don't mind other people have furry term on them. It's fine, but not me. I don't want it.
But as we've defined, right, we would be a tertiary furry because we have cat features and animal features.
You're a 10% furry.
You know what? It's fine. Well, God damn it.
If you can't accept that, then you take the ears off, okay? I mean, it's true, right? So I do wonder why you find the furry community so distasteful, right? Not only is the furry... Okay, I understand. Some of them are very cringe, right? But that is also true of weebs. The majority of weebs, especially like young weebs, are very cringe, right? Look at Max, for example. Anyway, none of you who know who that is, he's very cringe. Just trust me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, okay. So you have people like Max who are incredibly cringe, right? And then you have this sort of normal community, and then you have like you cannot look at furries based on what like wet ferals represents. And furthermore, they might not even be that bad in real life. They just fetishize about this weird stuff on the internet in a chat forum that nobody else is supposed to enter. I don't think it's fair for you to dislike being associated with the furry community this much. I think it's a little bit
like some people took it as hatred. I'm a furry in game, but I don't think I'm furry in real life, etc., etc. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, that's just copium.
Some people.
No, that's copium.
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Look, that's okay.
I never seen it.
You. That's you. That's you. What do you mean you've never? That's you. That's just you. Anyway.
What?
I'm not a furry, even though I have animal ears and a tail. I'm definitely not a furry. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with people saying I'm a furry, even though I have animal ears. Oh, the hypocrisy. Anyway, we're all tertiary furries, okay? Back to my theory, we're all tertiary furries, and back to the thing, right? People who are zoophiles, which, okay, again, we don't condone fucking animals. Please do not fuck animals. What would be, so if you think about primary sources, right? So, because I'm a historian, I'll go for history stuff. You're thinking about sort of Herodotus writing roughly 70 years after the events of like the Persian War, right? You're thinking about sort of Thucydides, even though, you know, he's not trustworthy with source. But you're thinking about that situation, right? So, I think the zoophiles would actually be the characters within the works, right? So in Herodotus's sort of in the Herodotus's sort of version, the zoophiles would be like characters like Xerxes. Not that he was a zoophile. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if we were to compare it, understand it in the same way that we understand primary, secondary, tertiary sources, I think the small, tiny minority that do enjoy fucking animals, like real animals, would be the characters that actually occupy the work that we call a primary source, right? And not at the primary source itself. Because that's it.
Yeah, but that makes me think of something. So, what I'm thinking is, what if animals had the ability to give consent? Then what would be the next issue to prevent people from?
They don't. They're all dumb as fuck.
No, but in the hypothetical, in this like fantasy.
Okay, I'll send you a video later. Because hear me out. I have been convinced by one of my friends. So this friend has convinced me 100% that in certain instances, it's okay to fuck Pokemon. I know it's super weird to say, but I'll do this in private. I'll do this in private. But all I'm saying is, right.
No, that's
apparently at the
canon.
end of Ash's story, that
Yeah.
what's that red legendary Pokemon called again? The one that's like a Lugia?
Charmander?
No, Lugia?
I don't know.
I don't know what its name is, but like that thing is clearly has the hots for fucking Ash,
Yeah.
okay? And that thing can certainly probably smart enough to give consent. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's super fucking weird. I still don't condone it, obviously, but you know, I mean, if it's about consent,
no,
they might be able to give it.
Yeah, you condone fucking animals, but not necessarily fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, and like, you know, Mewtwo is like smart as fuck, right? I think he's like
Mewtwo,
sentient,
yeah.
more or less.
More than humans in
Yeah,
in
he's a
one
good
way.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know. It's no, the guy
So-
cheese fucking fucking Pokemon fucking animal.
I hate.
But I don't know.
I know that I'm a DJ, but not this kind of DJ. You know what? I hated it.
Yeah.
I'm not related to the church. I apologize.
Mhm. But yeah, I don't know if people noticed. I mean, for anyone's watching, Frosty added SquishyBones.
I haven't turned them on.
You have? No, I think.
No,
Use your fingers. You should be able to
let me
gently
try.
squish my bones. Okay, I can't actually
Is
see.
it
Hang on.
visible? Yeah, let me see.
It's not visible. What the fuck?
Well, no, it's visible. Okay, now it's good.
Okay, good. If you use your index finger, you should be able to gently
no,
squish my
it's
fingers.
Yeah, it's working.
That looks disgusting.
Yeah.
I think your foot looks like a
What
worm.
disgusting!
that wriggles.
Excuse me, right? My fingers can piston like you won't believe.
Okay, listen, bitch. Your fingers looks like fucking worms because it's small as
you
fuck,
can-
and when you squish it,
All
you
fingers
know what
look
I
like
mean?
worms. What are you talking about? That's how what?
Okay, you can stop the
the
highlight.
size, bro.
I'm not. Excuse me. My hands are sideways. If I wanted to offend Germans, I'd do this. Sorry.
But anyway, yeah. For those listening, Frosty added has SquishyBones, a new system of like physics things in VRChat. Whoop, cramp. Oh, okay, it went away.
Yeah, maybe if you exercised once in a blue moon, you wouldn't fucking cramp with just sitting down. Anyway.
no, yeah, VRChat added SquishyBones and sorry. Yeah, they added SquishyBones and you can have more fun with squizzix and squishing things, and Frosty added some. So that'll bring
I
some,
think my controller just died.
It is 1
Request-
a.m. I agree.
So aside from informing people about the SquishyBones, what kind of interesting applications can be applied or will happen? in VRChat?
Extendo penis.
Extendo penis. Yeah, you try to like shove it in, but it like flicks away.
Oh, you could probably also do the you know how you have like fake knives and you could like stab people with
Yeah.
fake knives and then they
Oh,
like go
yeah.
inside the sheath. You could probably do that.
we
They've made buns much easier.
will
So-
literally have prop knives in VRChat, like literal prop knives.
Yeah, prop knives,
Yeah.
Bye.
buttons.
Yeah.
So for context, SquishBones has made buttons so much easier. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah. Squishy penises, squishy
nice,
boobs.
nice.
What else? Squishy thighs. I guess, yeah, buttons are gonna be more fun, I guess, in terms of pressing them.
Yeah, I
something
only
with
saw people were doing the belly, squishy belly,
Oh my
where you
God.
poke the belly. It looks really
Is my take
realistic.
for high school coming up?
to the
I think it
skin.
actually is. In
But
years. But you know, it is.
some people just add just a little bit just because it
Yep.
costs so much on like Avatar, on like
Yeah.
performance, I think.
I failed math, so
So,
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't care.
I don't know if it's
I'm gonna go back
full-
and I'm gonna be
if
like, I don't
you
do
put it
anything
on
with my life.
everything.
It's fantastic.
Like on every
Wake up in the
skin,
morning and I work from home.
if it might reach more than like, very poor and just stay on very poor unless you're deleting some of it, maybe.
Yeah.
What is he saying?
Poly avatar, I'm not sure either, because they can make poly avatar squishy just to reach like maybe medium performance.
Mm.
Wait, what
Wait,
does this
doesn't
have anything
affect-
to do with high poly avatars?
I don't know.
No, it fucking doesn't.
It's
It's a fishbone. It's like any other bloody fishbone. Okay, yes, you can hit very poor if you max out your fishbone transforms. If you have too many fishbones, 100% true. But it's like any other fishbone. People know how to manage fishbones. It's fine.
Hmm.
Oh,
You think?
Yes.
Well, I don't
also,
know
it's
what
much
should-
better,
yeah.
right? Because if you want to do like a button push, right, usually you have to use contacts. Guess what? Contacts are shit. Right? Well, okay, I'm being facetious. Contacts are very hard to sync, right? Fizzbones are automatically synced across networks, which means buttons are much easier to do now. It's fantastic. Anyway,
Hell yeah.
you will see so many disgusting soundboards. It'll be great.
Wait, you have buttons. You should have added it to your button. I think
didn't
that was
update
the
my
almost.
buttons. I didn't update
okay.
my buttons. But yeah, that was what I wanted to do. But I wanted to do something weird first, which is why I did my fingers.
You like playing with your fingers, huh?
I do like playing with my fingers. I enjoy that a great deal.
Hmm. I wonder. I mean, I'm thinking maybe like blimps or like balloons. You can just stand on them to add a bounce effect. Maybe that would be fun. Hmm.
I could see that, but I don't know if because you won't bounce off them. Obviously, you'll just like squish the.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hello, nice to meet you. We're live on
Hello.
Twitch.
hey.
Don't
Yeah.
say funny words. Don't say the hard R, you know? The Linus Tech Tips hard R.
Linus Tech Tips.
Like I was saying.
Okay, but yeah,
Oh.
these bones are out. Have
Wait,
fun
you
with it.
changed your name again? Hello.
You ch-
Hello.
What?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Da. Okay, I guess, yeah. And now, to segue into something mega shit, which is Lord of the Rings Gollum,
Mega-
apparently. Apparently, it's a very.
I don't know
shitty
anything
game.
about this. I've only seen one JPEG of Gollum in the game. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna watch a video about it right now. I'll be back.
okay, sure. I'll just discuss it.
I only saw the first mission of the after the cutscene, and then there's the first mission. I already hated it and not watching
Okay,
gameplay anymore.
we'll get back to that, and I want to tell me what you think about it. So yeah, the game Lord of the Rings Gollum
Yeah.
released, and give it like 24 hours, 48 hours, and you go to Steam, and mostly negative reviews. You go on like critical review sites, and user rating down the shitter. Don't know about journalist score. I don't give a shit about that one. But yeah, apparently, like a lot of games prior to this release, like Redfall, it turns out this game is shit for potential performance reason, or the gameplay reasons, or I don't know, just other reasons people hate it. Maybe they hate the character. I don't know. But yeah, Snow, tell me how is the game like? Why do people hate it, or why did you think it was garbage from watching the gameplay?
I might be biased about this because when I heard the Gollum voice, it sounds like a fucking Joker from Batman. The story kind of mild. Takes something around before I Gollum decided to move into the Lonely Mountain, which is the Lord of the Ring lore.
The fuck?
The vision are kind of simple to where the fuck just. Because I watched Lord of the Rings. But yeah.
How do you know the story of the game when you watch one mission?
Maybe it's then
Because the cutscene literally told that it was for the Golem move out from like someplace and then move to.
Right, but that's
Lone.
the skeleton of a story, right?
It's gonna
That's the
tell.
setup. Right, that's me telling you that Princess Peach is in sort of Bowser's castle, right? That's not the story of the game. The story of the game is Mario actually going and saving the princess. That's a bit like me telling you, oh no, Zelda's somewhere else now and Link's gotta save Hyrule again. Oh, that's the story, right? No, that's the synopsis. That's the skeleton. That's the setup, dude.
Let's just say I watched the gameplay, dude. Okay, that's it. Pretty mild controls. Performance is great because it's not like too. It looks polygons. It looks. It's like with the JPEG, polygons. You know how it looks like, right?
Snow. Oh god.
Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Did I cut out?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we heard. It looks polygons, JPEG.
Oh, I said based on the JPEGs, it kind of looks like not really Unreal Engine 5 thing, but it's not Unreal Engine 5.
So what you're saying is it looks bad, and the controls are but the performance seems good.
How do you know the controls are bad?
I hate the character model, but I love the weather at least. If that, I want to be like Frosty. So.
This is bothering me so much.
The combat is all melee. What?
By controls, do you mean like the game?
Okay, you know what? Frosty can go ahead.
It's fine. No, but how do you know? No, this is my comment. You've watched one level of someone else playing the game and you're saying the controls are bad. How do you know the controls are bad? Because they were probably playing a controller, right?
I am not sure.
So this is all coming out your bunghole, okay.
Yeah, it's Shirako. Okay, that person that I'm watching uses controllers. Jump pretty janky. I don't like the animations. Controller is good.
I think
the controls are fine, the animation's bad. Oh my god, I'm dying. Holy shit.
So I think what I'm hearing is basically what I'm understanding is that how the game is played seems bad because of the animations and because potentially how jittery it may be, depending on how you saw.
Yeah, you have good wording on that. Yeah.
All right.
Good, but no, he's fucking scooped you from the depths of hell, right, and taken you to a sensible place. Let's call the mortal plane. Made you.
It's fine. It's fine.
I don't
we got the idea.
You cannot comment on whether or not the controls are good or bad when you don't even know if the person's playing with the controller or not. That seems a little bit hypocritical. That's all I'm saying. You always give me shit for shitting on games, right? But when you try to criticize a video game, it's ridiculous. Oh my god.
Like, I mean, like,
right, let me give you what I would do.
It doesn't mean that you can take that into full account.
Let me respond to you. Take what into account? The fact you're speaking out your bunghole? The fact you don't even know whether or not the person's using a controller or a keyboard? Right? You're criticizing the controls, or you were talking about the controls without knowing what medium of control they're using. That's a little bit like me saying, oh, driving's so fucking difficult in it, even though I can't fucking drive. Ugh.
However, there is context before what Snow said. The context being he watched gameplay, not played it. So
right, the context being, right, I don't know anything. Right, okay, but it's even if you provide context. Okay, I'll give you an example. I have watched Initial D. I think driving is very hard. If I don't include the line, based on what I see in Initial D, it's still a silly statement, right? And certainly, if I watched Initial D, and I think using a wheel is very difficult, or rather, the controls of the car is bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad.
I mean, yes.
Okay. Let me give you the criticism that I would give you, okay? I haven't played the game, so I'm just going to read off Steam reviews. They takes it from us, precious. Tricksy hobbitses stole our money. Gollum, throw it in the fire, precious. Smash it with the Roxy's. Misery. Curse, Didac. Wait, Daedalic? Yeah, there we go. Curse it, crush it, we hate it. We hates it forever, spoiling nice story. No rest for poor Smeagol. Fell into the lava, into the pit, and closed the game, sis. Gollum is free. Yeah, don't buy this game, people fucking hate it.
Gollum is free. You know what? It seems like the Steam reviewers have more quality in their product than the product itself.
Right, because this is how you talk about something you know nothing about, right? You defer to experts, people that played the game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But we can also share our opinion from viewing. That's not an issue.
Right, but you can't talk about the controls when you don't know
No,
anything about the
Frosty's
controls. Of course I'm fucking right.
Frosty's right.
Ugh.
Look, I'll consider myself as an expert playing games, and I can allude to that and say a sentence like...
He did, freak. He pretty much revealed that he didn't know the person who he was watching the gameplay of was using a controller or a keyboard, and he tried to comment on the control scheme as being bad. The comment was the controls are bad, which I interpret because the controls are bad usually means the control scheme is bad, right? Like, for example, the controls for Dark Souls, if you play on a keyboard, are horrendous, right?
Yeah.
Because that's true.
Yeah. Okay, then
And for
there we go.
context,
That's
it's
an
100%
observer.
true. Please don't play those. No,
And we observed that that's an issue, and we presented it without playing the game.
I've played all the Dark Souls. It's
No,
an
I'm
observation for me.
I'm saying regarding Gollum.
Right. But the observation, right, was that he saw some gameplay, right, and his presentation was that the controls are bad. And then I asked him, right, I assumed they were using controller, and he didn't know whether or not they were using controller or keyboard. If you don't even know something as basic as that, how on earth could you judge the control? Right? It's like me saying, "Oh, yeah, that car is horrible. What type of car is it? I don't know. It could be a bike or a boat. I don't know."
Yeah, but here's a counter. He probably didn't give a shit, and he just processed that in his mind without processing the details.
Right, but the things, okay, the things you say, right? Certainly, the things you say, and the way you present information, right, is super important. And being thorough and precise when you present information, right, and accurate is important. Otherwise, it makes you a hypocrite. Okay. For example, like, I'm gonna go back to this, right? He shat on me for shitting on game trailers, for the trailers lying to you, right? Okay, so why did I say the trailers would lie to you? Right, I'm basing this off of a sort of backlog of evidence, right? Because there's a trend of industry trailers, right, looking incredibly good, like Watch Dogs fucking 1. You told me the other day that Watch Dogs 1 looks better than, like, the modern Watch Dogs, right, the trailer.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's still true, right? There is an industry trend of them lying to you at E3s and whatever, and that's why I was shitting on trailers, right? Now, if you think about the logical through line of saying the controls are bad, in this context, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because not only just saying the controls are bad, for context, let me give the whole story. He was saying, how on earth could you know the games are bad and the game's lying to you? And my evidence was, it's an industry trend, right? And now he's saying that I can judge the controls of a game based on gameplay without knowing how the input, like what inputs were used, right? That's hypocrisy of the highest order, right? He doesn't even have a trend of games having horrible controls. And, like, we've figured out controller mappings for a while now for third-person action games.
Yeah. But what if that sentence can be fixed by adding just one word? Seems.
Oh, well, even if you add scenes, that's still not a good thing, right? So if we go back to the sources situation, right, we would be a tertiary source, right? So you shouldn't trust us. But also we would be a horribly uninformed tertiary source, right?
Yes.
So here's the deal. Even if you add about or scenes or whatever, you shouldn't present things that don't make any sense and have no evidence for backing, right? If you don't know what the control schemes are, please do not say the controls are bad. Please say the animations look janky if you think the animations look janky. If you think the game seems sort of cumbersome and hard to play because of the animations, because that's the only thing you're seeing, then please say that. If you've not seen the controls, if you don't know what the controls are, if you haven't played it, it's incredibly difficult to comment on controls. For example, right? Yeah. Before you played Dark Souls, did you know that all the Souls games are release roll?
Release roll?
When you hold the dodge button, right? When you push it down, you don't roll. It's when you lift your finger up and you release the button that it rolls.
Probably not.
Every single Souls game is release roll, right? You've literally played through Elden Ring and you didn't know that because it's not an important detail to know, right?
Yeah.
So how on earth could you possibly comment on control without even playing a game? I've immediately proven that even if you've played the game, right, you still don't know everything about the controls.
Exactly.
It's
sure,
so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
I know, but you can still talk about it, providing the context that you haven't played it, and the viewer would be able
you can
to
still talk about
comprehend.
it, providing the context. Okay. You can talk about something without having played it. I agree with that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying you can't comment on something that's specific when you don't know anything about it. Right? That's the main thing. Right? The main thing is he didn't even know it was keyboard or controller. He couldn't tell the difference.
And the viewer would think right now that, okay, he's full of shit. That's fine.
No, it's not fine because it's horrible, right? You should.
I know. He can improve. He can like with what you're saying. He can improve
it
definitely.
misleads people.
And anyone
right?
similar can improve.
It might give the developers a bad name. I know the game's not great, right? But maybe the controls are fine. You know, it's false criticism, right? It's uninformed. It shows you're not professional. It's it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Okay.
I know.
This is what journalistic integrity is, Snow. Okay.
We're not journalists,
right? And fucking you don't. All right. Oh, I've actually written for editorial stuff, so.
Oh. Wait, he crashed the moment he wanted to say fuck you.
I don't know.
Wow, okay, this is gold. I love this.
think
Wait, I
he
want to take
cracked.
a picture. Wait. I love this. This is amazing. I love this
Frosty about
position.
to say fuck you.
Yeah, he crashed.
Ah, fuck. I don't really want to say it's karma, but it is what it is. But yeah, I have a bad judgment on that. Yeah.
No.
It's not
Look,
professional.
No. It's not that what he was saying was wrong. No, he was right. Like, but the thing is, like in my case, and in my case, from like knowing you and anyone who like is watching this podcast or series, viewers, and like that's paying attention to Frosty, Frosty and you, Snow, and I, knowing our intelligence, knowing our how we talk, how we behave, and how we view things, and we above that we also provide context, which is we didn't play the game, and you can just like ignore the whole segment because we didn't even play the game. And with that said, yes, you can definitely improve.
That's
And
why I
me as a
said
viewer,
before,
me as a viewer, and let's say I know you well, like from watching the podcast or like listening to it, I know that you're not really good with communications, and that's why I would have either not believe you at first point, and that's why I would like you crashed when you wanted to say fuck you.
I actually didn't for a reference. What happened was I could still hear you guys, but then I got disconnected. VRC is not responding, and then I clicked retry a couple times and it worked. But anyway, so back to the main point. What I was saying was, right, I did do some editorial work, and I am published in multiple magazines. So technically speaking, I can argue I'm a journalist.
I mean,
I would
I'm
not consider myself a journalist, but I have more integrity than the majority of them. That's what I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, any Steam reviewer,
unless you pay me, then I'll have no integrity.
A lot of Steam reviewers have more integrity than the combination of the gaming journalists combined.
100%. Because they've invested their own money, right? The majority of them, or some of them at least, into the game, and I feel it's fair.
I mean, I look, my head is going through a can of worms right now, but I don't want to open it, so we'll just leave it at that.
Open the can of worms.
No. Not Snow. Like it's an industry thing. It's a massive can of worms, but it's like.
But we have nothing. We have nothing for this podcast. You need to shit on Snow or the industry. It's fine.
No. No. No, this is the kind of words I don't want to open because it's just bleh. We can talk about it later though. But you know the thing I want to move on to. It's the same topic.
I'll fucking open it. I don't give a shit about you.
Do you even know what it is?
Okay. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I think it should be illegal, right, for gaming sort of journalist companies like IGN, like GameSpot, whatever, to accept, right, advertising spots, massive sort of website spanning ad spots for game launches, and then immediately go, this is actually an unsponsored review, right? This is a secondary thing. It's unrelated to the
Yeah.
giant ad spots we received. So we got this review and reviewed it without thinking about it. Also, I think it's ridiculous, right, that people somehow value the opinions of games journalists who live in a privileged position with giant gaming PCs, access to any consoles they want, and effectively infinite money to buy games, right, to judge their games. I think that's silly, okay? You gotta trust in the individuals, right? Metacritic's bad, but like the individual reviews, or like reviews from your friends when they comment on games that they've physically played, I would value that way over games journalists as a whole. And I think that's a problematic thing, right? Because I remember the days, right, when you could sort of trust some of the games publications, right? Especially like even the smaller ones. I don't know.
But that wasn't.
Speaking
a hot
of
take.
which,
You know what's a hot take against you? Deathloop is
sponsored
meh.
by Raid Shadow. I don't know. Wait, what are you saying?
Deathloop
What are you
is
saying?
meh.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. What was meh?
Deathloop.
I enjoyed it, but I understand the criticism of why people think it's meh. I think the reason I enjoyed it was because I really enjoyed Prey. I wanted more Prey, and I really enjoy the idea of like loops, like time loops. I enjoy that from a sort of me perspective.
Apparently, Prey has like a DLC that revolves around loops. I think.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
also,
don't play Deathloop. Play Prey DLC.
also, what the fuck, Arcane? What is Redfall?
Yeah, Redfall.
Okay.
Shame. Shame. What is this like? I forgot what culture is this from? We like do with the fingers. Shame. I don't know.
It's like
Uh,
2000s
From
and
Retail
shit.
Band. I don't know.
But like,
But no, so before we close it up, the thing I wanna move, it's the same topic, but it's more of what's been happening this year. Yeah, like Lord of the Fall, LOTR, Gollum, what's it called, Redfall, and some other games. It's all AAA, and it's been garbage after garbage after garbage. Like, what the fuck is happening?
It has been, yeah. Okay, so I want to defend some of the games first, right?
Star Wars
One,
is good.
Star Wars was fine. It was a great game. Performance was dog shit, right? Performance, it
Yes.
was dog shit. I think it's better now, but I don't know. It was dog shit. But
Yeah,
the game itself was fine, right?
Yeah.
What else was fine this year, actually? Like AAA release.
I can't remember. Wait, give me a sec.
I think that's kind of it. Like, what else was AAA this year? Oh, yeah, I know. I guess Destiny's Lightfall is
We don't talk about the
Destiny. Wait, that's last year. That was last year, actually.
I mean, we got a bunch of remakes.
Oh, Elden Ring
Wait,
DLC.
it's not released
probably gonna
yet.
be good. A bunch of remakes, like
The Last of Us got released on PC. That's not a remake, but we got Crisis
I don't
Remastered.
count that as like a new release though. It's just okay. Dead Space Remastered was good, fine, fair, good, fine.
Oh yeah. Wait, Watch Dogs Legion was released this year. What? No, that can't be.
No. The fuck?
Wait, was Avengers released this? Dead Island. It's not shit.
Dead
but-
Island 2, yeah.
It's just okay, or like missed opportunities on design choices. But yeah, so it's not about the games, but most like the thing I want to talk about is like, why do you think like these games are? Oh, Frosty crashed again.
Oh.
Yeah, no, actually, this is a VRChat thing, by the way. Like, I've been having it too. Like, I'm playing normally, then like
Since
internet
yesterday,
connection kills.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been having it for a week, so I don't know what's happening. But
I think it's because of the new update that they do, to be honest.
but yeah, I don't like regarding why games or like AAA games are shit this year in terms of
I think
performance
for
or
me
gameplay
this
or
year
whatever.
they have a deadline, and then whenever they do, they just fire and forget.
Yeah,
Which is just launch the game as it is, and then if it's broken or anything, it's just it is.
yeah,
That sucks.
yeah. I mean, I guess
And
I'm gonna blame it on management.
a lot of
Just-
people. Yeah. I will blame it
Probably.
on management as well. A lot of people say something about Redfall. Actually, it's like one of those projects that they just wanna let it release and just go to the next project, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just
But
shit, bro.
the thing with Redfall, it was like it's basically just fast zombies. That's it. Like, how can
The difficulty doesn't change. It doesn't.
Yeah. I mean,
There's dusk and then there's midnight, and the midnight one, it still feel like dusk difficulty. I mean, I'm not the one who playing it, but saw like 3 people that play it, and then
yeah.
is fine. There's one guy play with like his other 2 friends playing it, and they
Yeah.
are not having fun after 2 missions.
Yeah.
The
Mm,
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, we don't know much, so all we can say is from the outside, we can think that only they
Yeah.
had a budget and they don't want to exceed that budget, and management with I mean
Yeah, maybe.
potentially like developers had some hand in it in terms of maybe it's a developer to fucked something up, but I mean that's the job of the manager to detect and like fix. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
I
can
guess
see
they just
that.
didn't want to put a lot of money into a project and just make money fast or something. I don't know. They just didn't want to. Yeah.
It's like it kind of feels like a budget Borderlands
No idea what the
for
fuck's
some
going on, man.
reason. Like
You don't need to
the
record.
story Redfall.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we
I
can.
think we
just end it.
nearly wrapped this up.
Yeah.
For context, I didn't crash,
Yeah.
right? What happened was all of a
Yeah, it's a
sudden you guys
VRChat
disappeared,
issue.
and I was just the balls. Weird.
Yeah. No, it's a
Yeah.
VR.
This
I've been
VR
having it as well.
issues since yesterday.
But no, I should just
The
share
recent
your
updates have something with connection server.
share your thoughts on like why are we getting shit games this year? Like we just discussed, like it's a management thing or like an investment thing. They don't want to put more money into development, and we got bad managers maybe.
Okay. Hear me out. This is why we get shit
Hello,
games.
we're live on Twitch.
Let's see. Okay. Here's why we're getting shit games, right? God is
Yeah.
dead, and he hates us. His dead
I mean,
corpse hates us.
potentially.
That's why we're getting shit games. No, I think the reason
It's
why
a
we're getting shit
possibility.
games is because mega corporations don't understand how to properly provide for an audience that actually cares about their product, right?
Yeah.
Games can be iterative and they can be good, but I feel like their development cycles take too much time from like a megacorp's position, right? And obviously the idea, the way they make games, right? I believe it. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you know more about this than I do. Is that the majority of devs, or a lot of the devs, at the very least, like 50% of it, they're all contract workers, right? And after the project's done, they fucking send them off, right? And there are like
Yeah.
subsidiary game studios and
Fire and forget, yeah.
you can think of them as like shadow game studios that like really help game development, but they don't get much recognition, whatever. I feel like
Yeah.
that's part of the issue, right? Not only is the work environment cancerous because they expect you to crunch, but also the timeline management is an issue, right? Because crunch should only happen. So for context, crunch shouldn't happen. But if crunch has to happen, then it should only happen under the instance that you gave the project enough time, but maybe there were delays, and that delay caused you to sort of need to crunch, right? The timelines shouldn't factor crunch in as part of it. But I think the game industry does factor time in part of it, so that's why we're getting bad games. People don't have enough time. People want iterative design. They're not creative because it's game designed by sort of a board, right, or game designed by a committee, right? As we know, a lot of game companies will hire and like have a bunch of people come in and play their games and be like, "Oh, what should be better? We should be like this." Oh, I feel like the best games come from sort of individuals, right? Sort of the drug-addled minds, or maybe the sort of mischievous minds of like certain individuals that are sort of true visionaries in the game industry. We can think of a couple of these, right? Kojimbo,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Whoever made the first Mario game, right? The Smash dude, right? These are like all great games, and these are all pretty much, as far as I know, from the minds of like one, like the initial designs from the minds of like one individual, and I feel like that's how you get a more cohesive game. Anyway, That's just me shit talking. I don't know the industry, and I also don't care about the industry. For reference, right? I care about the industry to some extent. People should be crunching, but like, I don't care why my product's bad. I'm just not gonna buy a bad product.
Yeah, obviously.
Wait, can I crunch this topic really quick?
Sure.
No,
about like finished game and unfinished game.
Yeah. Oh, early access.
Okay.
What I mean to say, what I mean to say is, every game that we had so far, it's still unfinished too, just because of like the bug makes it fun, right? Like speed run or whatever. But
Makes it fun?
I think he's
like, for example, like speed runs, and he's what? Yes, Siri.
Continue your thought. I have a criticism, but I'm locked and loaded, right? One in the chamber. Just continue your thought so I can just annihilate it after you're done with it.
You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna stop right there. Yeah,
No,
that's all
I mean I can still
wanna
annihilate
say.
it now. That's fine. Okay.
No, it's fine. I don't want to
Okay.
give you a bullet to shoot me right now.
No, the bullet's loaded, man. Okay, I think
You
the
just shoot me.
idea of saying I think the idea of saying that sort of games are finished when they're bugless is a silly thing to say. Because let's be honest, right? All games, even the best programmed games, are horrible jangles of code that barely work, right? And I don't mean that in a horrible way. All I'm saying is game design is difficult, game programming is incredibly difficult, game dev is hard. As long as the bugs don't impact player experience, and what I mean by that is nominal player experience, right? The average player, I think it's fine. And as long as the performance is within the acceptable range, I think it's fine. So, what I consider a finished game, a game that was developed, published, and delivered finished, right, a week early, even, is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, right? That game was basically completely finished, right, and it's 1.0 release, and it was insane. It was great, right? That's all I'm saying. What I consider to be an unfinished game, and I think it's an industry that plagues even single-player games, is the majority of PC release, right? Even something like Jedi Survive wasn't delivered finished. I think being able to update a game gives a lot of developers the false sense of security to allow them to sort of fix a game at a later date. And I think as a customer, and sort of from a consumer perspective, this is incredibly sort of cancerous and dangerous. And I think it's anti-consumer, and games should be developed, and then games should be tested, and then games should be found to be functioning on, like, with moderate performance on the majority of hardware, and certainly at above 60 FPS on performance mode on all the consoles at least 1080p before they're shipped. And I feel like that's a fair number, because that's what the PS5 and Xbox One S promises, right? They promise on performance mode you'll get above sort of 60 FPS. They say at FK, sort of 4K, but like realistically, 1440p, but realistically it's going to be 1080p internal, upscaled to 1440 realistically. But still, I'm fine with that. As long as you can develop that sort of thing for the consoles, I think it's fine. For PC, it's a little bit more problematic because there's not like a promised frame rate. But at the very least, I think your recommended specs should be 60 FPS, 1440p. Right? I feel like that's a fair, medium sort of requirement.
Yeah.
Games should be developed finished, and you should really, if it's a single player game, you should release it with the understanding that you shouldn't need to update this, right? And if you do update this, it should be add new features, not fix fucking horrible old sort of weird performance bugs. And if you have like weird 1% bugs, that's fine, I get it, right? We didn't expect someone to, I don't know, I'm gonna use Zelda here because I've been playing a lot of Zelda. You shouldn't expect someone to shield surf and then immediately go into the inventory and then dupe a bunch of items. Fine, that's like a weird, obvious exploit, right? That's not their fault, right? That's not like an obvious bug. Fine, cool, you do, that's fine. I don't consider that unfinished. You can patch that out, that's fine. But if it's something like as drastic as, we have legitimate game features that'll come later, or the performance will hit 40 FPS on like a 4080 or a 4090 within these sort of places, then I think that's problematic, and that's not a finished game. And my issue with developing games unfinished and developing Sorry, I've been rambling on for a little bit, right? Because no one completed his thought. But let me just sort of pull the trigger here.
You haven't let me finish my work, so you pull the trigger anyway, so that's fine.
Of course I do. Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what game devs do.
Yeah. I got another one, but
Complete
I
your
don't think
thoughts
it's a
now.
good one to talk about it right now.
Just say your fucking thought.
No, thank you. There's another topic that I want to crunch to as well, but it's something about
Please stop
live
saying crunch
service.
through.
Like, is it still good to? Is it still good or not?
I think it delves all to what Frosty mentioned. So, like, if you go into with an unfinished game, and with the cover of a live service game, it's still an unfinished game. So
I
no
agree.
excuses there.
Your features should
Well,
work.
yeah.
But here's my deal. If your question is whether or not live service games are still good as a general statement, I think live service games can certainly be good. Right. And here are my examples of good live service games. WoW Classic, before they made... Okay, they recently added, like, microtransactions, so it's bad now. But, like, before that, right, WoW Classic was fine,
Yeah,
I
the
think.
token thing. Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14, people love that, and that's technically a live service game, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull like a sus thing. Destiny 2, right? People are shit on me for it, but Destiny 2 has lasted longer than all the other live service shooters, right?
Mm-mm.
All of them.
That's
It has
true.
outlived them. So it has to deliver at least something that's decent and people enjoy.
Well,
but I think go on.
Fortnite.
I mean,
That's a
I
battle
mean-
royale though. I don't consider. I mean, it is a live service.
It's a
game,
shooter.
It's not the same. So I'm thinking.
It's-
I'm thinking Division, right? When I think about a competitor to Destiny 2, like a loot shooter,
Yeah.
or
I mean,
Anthem.
some people,
well,
some people
other
wanting
games
to
out there.
like game. They want to play that game that has continuous things, right?
Yeah.
Something that's why live
Yeah.
service is a thing.
Yeah.
Season.
It's also
pass and
incredibly
all that.
lucrative. Live service makes you a lot of fucking money, and it's a lot of
Mhm.
consistent income.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 is incredibly valuable as far as I know, right?
Yeah.
But live service is hard, right? And I
Yeah.
think it's fair that the majority of developers can't handle it. I think it's just too difficult. And I think providing a good enough experience is incredibly difficult, and everyone's going to complain of the content drought, right? Because your hardcore players are going to sort of... You're always going to get the issue of your hardcore players going through your content too quickly because they're hardcore players and have the best stuff, and you have your like casual players not being able to catch up, because obviously every single live service game has a bad new user experience. That's just true.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask
Yeah,
me about like the first
that's
couple levels of
true.
MMO, it's like horribly boring. You ask me about the new player experience with Destiny 2, it's horrible. The Warframe experience, the new player experience is also really bad because none of the systems make any sense, and they're really difficult to understand, and they're hard to pause. I think, yeah, you're always going to get those two issues, right? Whether or not you make content for new players or you make content for veterans.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Live service is hard.
So
and
you're saying
games
it's
can
like
be
hard
buggy.
to balance to both, right?
Of course.
Develop- Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. With that said, indie games, please make more
Yeah,
indie
I see.
games. Fuck AAA games, considering this year. Mostly.
Oh.
Please make more Hollow Knight games. Yeah,
More Hollow
Great.
Knight. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's it
Silk
for this,
Song.
for this episode. It was a short one.
you fucking didn't have any topics at all.
Why?
No, I wanted to make it short, but
No topics.
yeah.
Oh, you wanted to make it short, did you?
Yes. We didn't do it this short.
Yeah,
like,
and then
I haven't done this before.
I mentioned,
so-
I mentioned
We
something
tried
that
to make it short.
add on like last minute
It's an experiment. I think it was nice.
because it seems too
because
short.
We were
yeah.
like very casual and very. I think it was like a comfortable experience this time. Just 3 topics. It was fun.
I did
Yeah.
shout at Snow for like 30 minutes
No, but you always shout us. No.
That's fine.
because he likes
It's like
journalistic
every
integrity. He
episode.
thinks he can judge a video game without fucking playing it because he told you the controls are bad without knowing what fucking control input
We
was
talked
used for the
about
video
this.
he watched.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck you. This is frustrating me. Like even now, it's like people. It's literally judging
You
a book
can-
by its cover. It's oh my
Scream
god.
at him
Such a-
after the podcast. Bye, everyone. Oh, bye, Keyboard Omega. Okay, bye.
Why?
Got announced.
Wait, what's this about?
Why?
No, fuck you guys.
Hey, Shy.